let's talk about politicians, the Olympics, and poop. If unaware, the Paris Olympics start in about a month, and there are a plethora of problems. Let me explain. There have been many protests because France's Prime Minister, Elizabeth Borne, enabled by Emmanuel Macron, announced their government would force through a very controversial plan without a vote to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. Union leaders called for boycotts and strikes and protests, and they certainly did deliver. In one word, it was seismic. There have been more crackdowns on protesting in the country, though, which Jacobin's Ali Haynes noted was becoming increasingly authoritarian, writing, those involved in the Yellow Vest movement, pension reform protesters, trade unionists, and more have all faced police violence or suspensions of the basic protocols of justice. Then there's the topic of policing in the country. And if you've been following our work and also understand policing in America, you're going to say, oh, that makes sense. Via PBS, local grassroots organizations and international rights groups allege that French police target black people and people of Arab descent in choosing who to stop and check. A lawsuit was filed asking not for compensation, but accountability and systemic changes. So while Kylian Mbappe, I have the Euros on right now, calls for action as well to not vote for extremists, as he puts it, for Marine Le Pen's party with the elections coming up. Though her party, the National Rally, is poised to win these elections. All of these things are humongous problems in the country. And yet, when we focus on the games, we should not remiss that this will be the most surveilled Olympics ever, according to various watchdog groups. Athletes, coaches, spectators, media, and more will essentially be spied on during the Olympics because French authorities tested AI at concerts and train stations and stadiums to success. So anywhere they go, they will be surveilled. And how can we forget the way that authorities have taken certain measures like sweeping houseless people away from the Seine in what many aid groups are calling social cleansing as they prepare for the Olympics? All of this to say, there are so many terrible things that are going in to the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. But let's highlight something that is a positive, which shows cohesion and togetherness for the greater good. Take a look.
The Seine, Paris's iconic river. Its banks are packed with must-see monuments, the Louvre, Notre Dame, the Eiffel Tower. Throughout history, the Seine has shaped local life from prehistoric times until now, and it's set to play a starring role at this summer's Olympic Games.
It's true. The Seine's role in the Games, by the way, is massive. From NBC and the Associated Press, during the Olympics, Paris plans for athletes to compete in the Seine for marathon, swimming, and triathlon events. The first such event is the men's triathlon, which is scheduled for July 30th. Now, the Seine is dirty, and I mean like really, really, really dirty. And guess what? France spent over $1 billion to clean up, in quotes, the Seine and upgrade Paris's antiquated sewage system. And guess what? It didn't work. Now, why didn't it work? How do we know this? What is going on with the Seine? France 24 as the latest. The Seine was too dirty when tested on June 16th to allow the Olympic triathlon and open water swimming events to be held there, the results of analysis showed. According to graphs posted online, almost every day from June 10th to the 16th, the level of concentration, you ready? Fecal E. coli bacteria was greater than 1,000 colony-forming units, the required threshold used by the International Triathlon and Swimming Federations. It should be noted, everyone knew the Seine is unsafe. And there has actually been policy to restrict and ban swimming in the Seine since 1923. That is how they know it is not up to standard for human use. And now, many in France are saying, well, we do have the games to put on. We want those beautiful, spectacular shots of the Eiffel Tower. Let's make the athletes the sacrificial lambs. That is what they are signaling. We did have some confidence from Paris's mayor. And she said that she will show the quality of the water in the Seine by taking a dip in it. She promised to do that. Emmanuel Macron also vowed to do the same. He even said, and I quote, "You bet I will," when asked if he too will participate in a swim in the Seine. Now, citizens of Paris, very angry for many reasons. Number one, they spent over $1 billion to clean this up when it's not even clean. Secondly, that money could have gone to various other avenues that would benefit the people much more than hosting a 2-week Fugazi event that locals do not care about. Thus, they vowed to take action.
I am shocked by the amount of people who don't know this is about to happen. So the people of Paris, the protesters started to mobilize and they organized this website. This hashtag, Je suis dans l'océan, means I will in the river. Basically, they're saying, we are done with putting up with your so it's your turn to swim in it. And they provided all the people who live near the Seine or downstream with a calculator to calculate when they need to poop at their location so it all arrives at the same time when the mayor and president start swimming in the water to prove it's actually clean.
In a brilliant display of solidarity, Paris residents vowed to go number 2 in the Seine when it would coincide with the mayor and Macron going in it. Mayor Hidalgo, though, was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe we should pause this for a second. She would cancel her plans to go in the Seine, giving a date in July. Macron, meanwhile, after giving his full-fledged commitment, has, unlike Hidalgo, not given a date of when he will go in the Seine. From James Detour of SB Nation, many suspect the decision was prompted by online plans to poop in the Seine with scientific precision. That's a good way of putting it. Which would have ensured floaters hit the politicians right as they planned to dive into the river on Sunday at noon. Here is the latest locally from TikToker Sage Van Alstine. Sage, take it away.
Paris poop protest was supposed to happen today in the Seine. So here's the update everyone's been waiting for. It's June 23rd and this is what the Seine looks like right now. I haven't seen anyone poop in the Seine or throw any poop in the Seine, but actually the Seine itself looks super brown. Delay is blamed on all the rain that we've gotten the past few weeks, which has caused a ton more sewage to get into the river. Olympics committee is still very certain that the river will be ready by the time the Olympics start. But if it is not ready when the Olympics kickstart, instead of moving location, open water swimming events will just be postponed for a few days. But be sure to follow along as I'll keep everyone updated on what's going to happen in July.
Well done, and we will be watching. Please throw a follow if you can. The latest from Axios, and then a few final thoughts here. Heavy rainfall can overwhelm Paris's sewage system, increasing contamination. The city has experienced one of its wettest winters in decades this year. Back in April, the Surfrider Foundation, an NGO focused on water quality in Europe, issued a very stark warning that levels of E. coli, which indicate the presence of fecal matter, remained far too high. So what does this mean? First off, power to the people, always and forever. We all understand when it comes to the World Cup, when it comes to the Olympics, the show that countries, cities, politicians, local municipalities will put on just to say, look at our amazing venues. Like, look at Sochi even. Look at our amazing venues, even though they're just going to be a humongous waste of space and become moldy in a few years because we're not going to use it. Look at what happened in Brazil with the Olympics and the World Cup. They displaced people, they moved people, they tore down people's homes that they had lived in for decades upon decades, all to make way for infrastructure so tourists and visitors could get to the games a little easier. That's an injustice. And now we are seeing this. I love what they did and how they organized. Do I think Hidalgo and Macron will go in it? No, I do not. Do I think that they are going to do everything in their power because they have already gone so far to commit to this? Yes. It eerily reminds me of the waters in Brazil and how local politicians who were a part of this simply did not care that the swimmers, the surfers, the parasailers had all of this contaminated water going on their bodies and in their faces, because it is indicative and microcosmic of the mentality of many politicians, not just in Brazil or the United States, but across the world, who put on events such as these. We don't care about the health benefits. We don't care about the citizens. All we care about is making the town look as best as it possibly can, no matter the circumstances. This is disastrous. And especially ahead of elections that are coming up, this could potentially plague them. So way to go, guys. You're doing great.